Welcome back to Boomer's Playground. And today I want us to build kind of a smaller project or app, or you can call it kind of whatever you want. The thing that I want to do is I want to build us what seems like a basic project, but the implementation, it's not hard, but you really have to kind of stop and think about it. And so I'm pretty sure this is one of the first projects I built on my own with JavaScript. And when I explain it to you guys, you're going to be like, oh, you idiot. That was super easy. But when you really think about what you have to do, it's really not as easy as it seems. And that's why I like this project is, a lot of people think that first project after they finish a course or a boot camp or whatever needs to be this huge, monolithic, competing against Facebook and Amazon and blah. And it's like, no, you want to start small with most of your projects. These are projects that you're probably not going to show anybody unless you're on maybe a Discord or you have some developer friends where you're like, hey, could you look over my code? But this likely won't be on your portfolio. It 100% can if you do it right. But that's kind of the point I'm trying to prove here is that you can build what I call quote unquote dumb and stupid projects to get the practice, and that's okay. They don't all have to be production ready, trying to sell to a VC funded, blah, blah, blah. That's not what's required when you finish a course. So the thing that I want to build is we're going to private mode. And so I'm a huge, racing fan. I like cars. I like motorcycles. I like things that go fast. And so when you go to a drag strip, there's a thing called a Christmas tree. And all this thing does is it's usually two people, one on each side of this tree in their own lane. And what happens is it goes, the first yellow lights light up, and then an undetermined amount of time, the second set of lights of the yellow lights turn on, and then again, another unset amount of time, the last yellow lights illuminate, and then again, an unknown amount of time, the green will illuminate, and that's when you can go. And so these red ones at the bottom, this is if you maybe go before the green is actually illuminated. You're trying to kind of get a jump up on the person you're racing. And so what I want to do is we'll start simple and we'll just start with one yellow, but we will eventually get to this. But what I want to do is I want to show yellow, again, an undetermined amount of time, some random number, and then I want the green to go. And what I want to happen is I want us to have some sort of way for the user to hit the space bar, or you can, whatever key you want them to hit. And I want us to give them their reaction time back. So a lot of times these drag strips are on quarter-mile lengths. And so what will happen is when you're done racing, there's this little box, and they'll have this little teeny receipt that will show what your total time was, and they'll show what your reaction time was. And the reaction time is from when it turns yellow to green, the distance from that to when you press the gas pedal, or for us, it'll be the space bar or whatever you want to decide. And so what I want to do is I want to show them their reaction time between those two moments, or, let's say they jump the gun. We'll show the red and we'll say you're disqualified and you lose the race. So again, you guys are probably, if you're watching this, you're probably thinking okay, you idiot, that's super easy. But when we really get into the mechanics of it, you've really got to think about it, and you kind of have to have a pretty good understanding of JavaScript, which is why I really like this as a beginner project, because one, when you look at the project, it doesn't seem like it's going to take a lot of time. And so a lot of people will buy into that then. If I told them hey, go build me a car part, e-commerce store, no beginner is going to want to do that. That's way too big. So I like the level of basicness that this has, but there's still a good chunk of thinking that needs to be done to accomplish this task. So that's what I want to do today is let's build this. And again, I did build this myself. This was probably back in 2014, 2015. At that time, I didn't know about Git, or if I did, I did not have any idea how to use it. So I do think this is still going to be as if I'm building it the first time. So I think this will be a good representation of what seems like a basic idea, and you're seeing a quote unquote seasoned developer build it. So you guys can see that like we all struggle. So enough jibber jabber. Let's jump into it. That's not what I wanted. We'll do this. And let's do workshop, mentor, and then we'll make a directory for drag, strip. We'll jump in here. Drag, if I can type today. All right, we have that. So let's open our editor. All right, and we'll have a index.html. We'll have a style.css, and we'll have a app.js. And so those would be the three things that we need. So for starters, we'll just do some stupid, boilerplate HTML. No need to remember this or memorize it or type it every single time. Drag strip reaction timer. And then we have our CSS there. And then we'll do our JavaScript down here. This is just habit for me because I kind of started programming before a lot of newer stuff. So I always just put it at the end of the body, but you can now do why is this not? Why is tab not working? All right, well, whatever. So what you can do is you can either add defer or you can add async. I honestly haven't looked into what the difference between these two things is. So if you know, feel free to share it in the comments because I'd be curious. But again, I've programmed for quote unquote long enough that this is just my habit of putting it at the bottom of the body because async and defer weren't around. And or I just always was using a framework. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go old school. And we have our script tag there. We have that in. Let's save that. And let's see, what else do we need? Okay, so I think that's good. So what I want to do is I want to build this. We'll just do it in traditional HTML. I know in a lot of my other videos, I always harp on like, oh, hey, let's build it with JavaScript. And I think in a lot of instances, that's the right choice. But in this one, this is so basic. But if you're building something else, I feel like using JavaScript to draw the initial HTML is a great practice just so you use JavaScript more. HTML is highly Googleable. I know there are like many, many crazy complex things you can do with HTML, but they just don't happen that much. And I feel like you focusing on JavaScript is going to be a better use of your time. So I'm just going to do a simple, div. We'll just do our traditional container class. And then we'll throw in div class, and we'll do circle, and we'll do the color of what we want. And the reason we're doing this is we're going to have three, well, we'll end up having more, but at the beginning, we're going to have three circles. We're all going to want them to be the same size and shape, but we're not going to want them to be the same color. So that's why I have that circle class, and then I'm adding a second class, which will be the color of, whatever it is. So, all right, cool. So we have that. Let's see, I think we can do. So if you have Python installed on your computer, you can do. Oh, that is right. Cool. So you can do this from any folder that has an index.html file. And as long as it's not server-side rendered, which ours isn't, it's just, your standard front-end boilerplate, you can run this, and this will build a server for us. And then we can just go to localhost, and we'll do 8,000. And obviously we don't have anything here because we have our HTML, but we haven't given it any styling. So let's grab it some styling. And like I said, we'll do a circle, and let's make them 200. Oh, do width 200 pixels. We'll do height of 200 pixels, and we'll do border radius of, I think it's 50%. We'll have to look at this. This will make it a circle. Oh, that must not be the right. Well, let's see what we get here. Oh. So refresh it. Yeah, we still get anything. So let's do border radius CSS. All right, so I did get it right. Oh, I misspelled it. You guys are probably yelling at me, right? All right, so we have our container. We have our circles. Why are they not? Oh, you know what? I don't have any background color for them. Oh, no. What? Circle. Let's see. We have circle there. We have circle there. The width. We got the border radius. And let's just do a let's do a border color of black. That maybe it will give us our circles. All right. So nothing is being applied. So our CSS is wrong somewhere. Oh, all right. So this is saying the path is the folder of CSS and then style.css within the folder of CSS. So we just have it in our same folder. So we need to do that. And you'll see we have some stuff here. I'm not sure why. Oh, I think we have to do border. Border color is going to be, you have to give it the size, the type that it is, and then the color. Bless me. Oh, and actually, yeah, if we're going to do that, we just do border. There we go. Okay, cool. Okay, so those are a little big. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on your screen. I'm on a little 13-inch MacBook Air. So let's check this out. All right, we're good there. And then let's just center it. And this is something I know because I just use Flexbox a lot. But, you know, if you were like, oh my gosh, how did he just remember that? It's because I've probably applied this CSS to thousands of elements. So you will eventually remember this stuff, but the goal is not to memorize it. So don't get caught up if you're like, oh man, I didn't know that was how you did it. Like, it doesn't matter. Who cares? You could have easily Googled this. Like, I bet if we do center div flexbox, center div vertically and horizontally flexbox, you know what's going to be the first? Okay, well, it's a little more in depth. But the whole point is you could have easily Googled this and you would have ended up finding the same information. Again, if you don't know this, don't worry. It's not a huge deal. These are things that you'll just remember as you use them thousands and thousands and thousands of times. All right, and I broke it there. So we have display flex. We want flex direction to be column. Okay, there we go. So it's still not centered, but display flex is going to make it kind of left to right. So let's, I know this isn't supposed to be like a flex tutorial, but if we do display flex, they're going to go left to right as far as they need, and then they'll wrap when they run out of room. And then we change it to flex direction column, which will then make them up and down. And then we can do justify content center, which that'll put it left to right or not. Oh, already. Okay, I know what the problem is. Okay, so it is trying to apply them left to right, but when you do a display flex, it only takes up the space that is available or that it needs. So we want to go a little bigger than that. So what we can do is we can do width of 1,000 pixels and we can do height of 1,000 pixels. And then you'll see that we get, well, some of it at least. I wonder if it's a line item. Oh, no, what is it? Crap. Line. This is like the holy grail of Flexbox documentation for me. Like, I keep this open all the time. All right, so we got the document. We don't care about the wrap. We don't care about the flow. All right, justify content. We want center. And then align items. We want center. Oh, why don't you guys stop me when you see me making these typos? It's align items, not align. All right, so we got that. And okay, cool. So it's not quite centered because, you know, I didn't take into consideration the actual screen size, but I'm just trying to prove the point here that when you don't have a dedicated width or height from the element or even, you know, the parent container, it will just take up only the space it needs. So, all right, cool. So we have them aligned here. So now we want them to be different colors. So let's just do yellow, and we'll copy that, and we'll do green, and we'll do red, and then let's go to let's do a CSS color picker, because what's going to happen is I want the colors to be dull until they're like quote unquote illuminated, and then we want them to be a little brighter. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to use opacity to do that. So let's just grab a nice yellow, and actually we could probably just do we just do background of yellow. And you could do background color and get the same result, but I'm just lazy, and if I don't have to type the extra letters, I'm not going to type the extra letters. All right, so that one. So let's do a opacity of 50%, and this should be 50%. Yeah, so you can see how it's kind of like a little hazier now. And then we can do the same. And then we'll just change colors in a second here. And we'll do red. We'll do green. Okay, and so we have some kind of, you know, they don't look like they're illuminated, right? So we kind of have our whole thing here. I'm actually going to do... Let's add a start button, and we'll just do start. Here we'll do button, and we're doing this mainly because we want to have something that we can start this countdown with. And we'll do start button. We'll do start the race. Let's see what we get here. All right, so we get our traditional or our standard little button situation, and we'll do start button. And then again, we can just do display flex. Justify content will be center because that's going to be the left and right. Yeah, Flexbox is freaking sweet. I know CSS Grid 2 is as well, but I just don't know enough about it. All right, and let's just throw this down here so they're within the same container so they kind of line up better. All right, and then we can do, you know, we'll just do margin. Because what is this? Top right, bottom left, so it'll be 20 pixels top and left, or top and bottom, and then 0 pixels left and right. So if you only do 2, it'll be top, bottom, left, right. And then if you only did 1, it would be all of them, or you could, we could specifically do, you know, do it this way. But like I said earlier, you know, the less amount of keystrokes I can do, the better. So we'll do 20 pixels and 0 pixels. And again, this is just like kind of make it a little prettier. All right, cool. So we kind of have the HTML laid out. the next thing that I want to do is, let's just see if we can get the colors of the circles to change. So, all right, so let's do this. So we'll do, let's just grab the button, query selector, and we'll do a class of start button, and then start button dot add event listener, and we'll listen for a click. And then what this is going to do is, trying to think. Well, actually, we could probably grab the circles too. So let's do yellow circle. We could do green circle. We could do red circle, and then all we have to do is just change these to be yellow. And we'll do green, and then we'll do red. And then here, oh, what did I just do there? All right. And then here, let's just change their opacity to 1 and see if this even works. So we'll do yellow circle dot style dot opacity equals 1, and then we can just change it to green circle, and then we can just do red circle. Let's see if this works. Okay, cool. So that looks like it works. We're starting off kind of opaque, and then we do the start there. So I think that's a good start. Okay, cool. So we have that in place. Let's see, what are we at here? We're at 22 minutes. Holy crap. All right. So that's going to be the first start. I'm going to stop it there. I'm going to use a bathroom. This will be step 1 of this project, and then I'll re-record right after this, and we'll do step 2, which will, or step 2, which will be kind of implementing the variable timed illuminating of the circles. So I know this one was pretty blah. You probably didn't learn a whole lot, but this is just going to be the first start to that. And if you guys liked it, or if you guys have questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comment section below. Otherwise, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in step 2 of this video. Peace.